Have you been coming across the term empath and wondering what it means? What is an empath? Do they have special abilities? Are they spiritually gifted? And what is the difference between showing empathy and being an empath? Well, in order to answer these questions, we need to first keep in mind that we all have the ability to sense emotions. We are all emotional and spiritual beings. However, living in a fast-paced and chaotic world, most of us have forgotten or put aside our own abilities in sensitiveness. Due to our lifestyle and external environments, we tend to, at some point in our lives, disconnect from this inner power. It can be very easy to disconnect not only from others, but from ourselves too. Empaths, though, seem to never lose touch with their capacities and innate sensitivity. They always look like finely tuned instruments when it comes to sensing emotions, such as sadness or joy. They are highly perceptive, receptive, and sensitive to all types of energy. You might be wondering now, am I an empath? I always feel empathy to other people's emotions. Well, there's a difference between showing empathy and being an empath. An empath is not just someone who shows empathy, compassion or empathetic concern when, for instance, they see someone who is sad. No, this is known as cognitive empathy, which most of us are able to experience. Empaths are empathetic, and so much more. An empath is so highly aware of the emotions of those around them, to the point of experiencing those emotions themselves. They can feel emotions in such a way that sometimes it gets to the extreme of feeling someone else's physical pain too. That's how powerful they are. They are actually able to see themselves in someone else's situation and feel what they are feeling. Empaths can take the pain of others at their own expense, as they are able to absorb not only positive and negative energy, but mirror physical symptoms as well. An empath has the ability to literally embody what is going on with other people and the energy around them. But it's not just emotions, they can often sense someone's intentions or where they're coming from. For instance, when people hide their authentic feelings and put on a show for the outside world to see, an empath can often sense that person's true emotions and see beyond their masks. In other words, empaths seem to be able to easily pick up on many things that most people wouldn't. They are great lie detectors. So people often wonder, how do they do that? What's different about them? Well, while there is much we don't understand yet, in terms of how empathy works, one thing we know for sure. Everything, every thought, every emotion, has an energetic vibration or frequency attached. What empaths do is basically picking up these vibrations very easily. One possible scientific explanation for this is their energetic receptors being more open and vulnerable than most people's. We also have a set of neurons in our brains that create a neurophysical link between us and other people. These neurons fire up whenever we witness something that another person feels or experiences. They are called mirror neurons. For instance, when we are young, they help us to learn through imitation. Empaths can definitely experience these connections in a very strong way. All these abilities might look great and very special, but they can become overwhelming and really interfere with an empath's life. There are some common problems that empaths have to face until they learn how to deal with their abilities. Firstly, because they quite literally feel what others are going through, they are prone to experiencing energetic overload and can become overwhelmed by painful emotions, such as anxiety or anger. They can become energy-sucking sponges, which can lead to a lot of physical and psychological disorders, such as depression and chronic fatigue. As they can take on the problems of others as their own, negativity often feels assaultive and exhausting. Also, crowds can feel particularly overwhelming to empaths and cause them to feel drained. Some social interactions can actually trigger panic attacks, as it's not easy for them to intellectualize their feelings and recognize the difference between their own emotions and others. Romantic relationships can be a challenge too, as not everyone is able to understand an empath's need for space sometimes. Empaths are often seen as introverts because they require a certain amount of alone time in order to recharge and recover from emotional overload. That's one of the reasons why empaths often feel their best when they are surrounded by nature, which helps them to ground themselves. Unfortunately, empaths are also easy targets for emotional vampires and toxic people, who can easily drain their energy. This is because it is often difficult for them to set boundaries for themselves and say no to others. even when too much is being required from them. But not everything about being an empath is bad. There are many benefits of being an empath. However, in order to enjoy them, empaths must learn that their sensitivity is a gift, something to embrace instead of something to shut down. One of the good things about being an empath is that as they see the world differently than other people, they are keenly aware of others, their pain points, and what they need emotionally. This makes them excellent friends. They are really good listeners too. They are always ready to help a friend in times of need. Empaths are naturally giving and generous people. They also tend to be highly intuitive and emotionally intelligent. They can recognize even the subtlest changes that are undetectable to the naked eye or the five senses for most people. They have a big heart and will act compassionately to help others. They experience empathy not only towards family and friends, but also complete strangers, pets, plants, and even inanimate objects. Another great gift is the fact that they have a beautiful capacity for absorbing positive emotions. When around positive and loving energies, their bodies assimilate these and flourish. The more aware they are of their abilities, the more they use their empathy to share their light with the world and help humanity. In a world full of fear, greed, cruelty, egotism, and pain, empaths play extremely important roles. The ability to care deeply for others is something that our planet really needs. There are many different types of empaths, and their gifts can close gaps between humans and open gates to love and kindness. Some empaths have the ability to perceive what is happening to other people, animals, plants, the environment, and more. You might actually know someone in your family or friend circle who is naturally more empathetic towards animals or someone who is more empathetic towards nature. Other empaths are more drawn to the planetary system, to mechanical devices, to buildings, or to any variety of beings or things. There are actually empaths who will have a combination of some, or all of these traits. So, are you an empath? Recognizing that you're an empath is the first step in taking charge of your emotions instead of drowning in them. Don't see yourself as different and vulnerable. Become an empowered empath. You can learn how to recognize your feelings, master your emotions, and set boundaries. There are a few techniques that can help you do this, and I will share some in another video. Finally, honor this experience for the great gifts and opportunities it offers you. Enjoy. Take care. And have a wonderful time.